What is going on? What is going on? What is going on, party people? It's your boy, Coach D Brown, former big leaguer, former first round pick with the Kansas City Royals. Giving you all this straight knowledge over there when it deals with everything with the youth baseball space, giving you guys maximum exposure and helping kids get into school, man. And speaking of schools, I got my boy, man. He on the road, man. You know, this is real live action over there. He's on the road there recruiting, man. And I chased him down over there on the highway over there, driving around, trying to get to a game over here to I don't know if you're recruiting coach or you playing. Anyway, we're gonna find that out in a minute, man. So I am joined today by recruiting coordinator at Andrew College here in junior college here in Georgia. Coach Billy Henley is joining me today, man. Coach, what's going on, big dog?
Well, what's going on, D? How are you? Appreciate you having me on. Yeah, we're actually headed up to Lake Point. Georgia Dugout Club's doing a big high school tournament up here, and we're in the car on the way up here, trying to get to a game. Anybody that you've got listening from the Atlanta area knows that if you're planning on getting somewhere at 4 o'clock, it may be 4:30, 4:40 before you end up getting there. So it's kind of what we're dealing with right now. But we got our pitching coach driving for us. He's hadn't killed us yet, so we'll be all right.
I ain't gonna put that negativity in the air, man. You be careful
Yeah.
on the Atlanta highways, man. You know. So,
Yeah,
uh,
he's a North Carolina guy, so he's still figuring out Atlanta traffic. But
okay, yeah, yeah.
we'll be all right.
He's gonna learn, right? Exactly, man.
Yeah.
So, Coach, man, I appreciate you coming on, bro. I mean, I know I'm anxious to hear more. I know we've connected, man, and you came out on Sunday, man, to my showcase, which I greatly appreciate, man. I'd love to. What is I wanted to get the background on you, Coach. I always try to get the background on the coaches before we start initially talking about the program. So, Coach, if you could, man, give me a little background on you, where you're from, leading up to becoming a recruiting coordinator at Andrew College.
All right. So I actually grew up in Miami, Florida. Went to high school down there at Westminster Christian. I know I was talking to one of the guys at your showcase about that. He had some Florida guys down there, and we got to chat with him. It was good to catch up with some South Florida guys, But we yeah, grew up down there. Ended up coming up to Georgia for school. Played at Georgia College, which is a Division II program here in Central Georgia. And fortunate enough, really good program there. Fortunate enough, we were ranked nationally for most of my time there. Got to play in a Division II College World Series, which was awesome. Uh, don't ever let anybody tell you there's not good baseball at different levels, because we played some really good baseball there at Division II level, and I don't I know we'll probably get into that a little further on down the road, so I don't want to go too deep into that. But yeah, I
Mm-hmm.
got to play there, and then got into coaching after that. Started doing some travel ball right after I graduated. My college roommate actually called me about halfway through our my senior year and said, "Hey, I've been working for this group, and they've need some guys to help us coach for the summer, and is this something you'd be interested in?" And I was, yeah, sure. I mean, just be very honest, I knew I wasn't good enough to get drafted. They don't draft guys that can't hit. So we I was like, yeah, absolutely. Well, sounds like fun for the summer. Get to hang out with some of my friends and help some 17, 18-year-olds with baseball, and kind of got into it there and got hooked on coaching almost immediately at that point. And did a couple years at some high schools in Atlanta, and then spent 2 years at Oglethorpe University, which is Division III right there at the heart of Atlanta, before moving over to Georgia State for a year, and then down here to Andrew after that. So, been fortunate enough to be able to spend most of my time in coaching in the state of Georgia, which I know is rare, and I know I'm lucky, but it's been really great to be able to stay in the area, stay somewhat local. Obviously, love the baseball that gets played here in the Atlanta and the Georgia area. So, it's been nice to be able to go there, and now we're here in my second year here at Andrew, and just trying to keep things rolling the way they had it going before I got here.
Cool deals, man. So, let's talk about Andrew College, man. I had to do my research and look you guys up, and good program. But tell me more about it, man. Where you guys located, um, and what level are you guys right now?
Okay, so we are a Division I junior college. We play in the Georgia Collegiate Athletic Association, GCAA. So for those of you Georgia followers, I don't know how many you are. I know that's kind of where you're at, but you know, same conference as Georgia, Highlands and Gordon, South Georgia, East Georgia, ABAC, all those Georgia junior colleges. We all play in the same conference. We are located in South Georgia, about 45 minutes outside Columbus, about 20 minutes from the Alabama state line. So we're kind of right there in the corner where Florida, Alabama, and Georgia all come together. Sort of about 2 hours from Tallahassee, 2 hours from Atlanta, 2.5 hours from Panama City Beach, and about 2.5, 3 hours from Birmingham. So kind of right there in that sweet spot.
Man, so yeah, so talking about the amount of talent that's in that little triangle over there, man, that you guys get to, you know, get talent from, man. That's it's a good location, man. So, Division One junior college. I'm a big advocate for junior colleges, man, and I'm why do you feel like junior colleges don't get the love that it needs to get, man? Why is that? Why do you think that, man?
I think more and more as people get more educated, guys like you are doing what they're doing, trying to really help people understand. I think people are starting to more and more see the benefits of what a junior college can do for them. I think for a long time, and even when I was coming up, going through the recruiting process, junior college was just the place you went if you couldn't get into a Division I school, if you had trouble or had some kind of issue, then you got that image that you were going to go to a junior college and it was just a bunch of troublemakers and guys that couldn't make grades and things like that. And the more you get into it, the more you realize that it's a bunch of guys that just found it to be the best fit for them. So I think there's for as much as it's changed over the years, I think there's still that stigma on junior college sometimes where people think it's just a spot for renegades and troublemakers and guys that couldn't stay out of trouble. But I can assure you that's far from the case with any junior college I know of. I know at our spot we got a bunch of really good guys. They all make really good grades for the most part. A couple we got to stay on a little bit, but for the most part, our guys are really getting after it in the classroom and good kids and good people and good ball players. And I think that's just the more guys like you can get the message out there, the more people are willing to be open to it. That see that junior college is a great route for a lot of people. It's definitely a positive for the game in general.
No doubt about it, man. And I mean, being in the state of Georgia, Alabama, and Florida tucked away, man. You coached at Georgia State Division I school. You've played Division II and coached there too. So like equivalent to overall talent that you've seen between Division I, Division II schools and coaching junior college, like how, especially at that level, how different is that level when you see a D1 junior college like Andrew College and let's just say a Georgia State. You know what I'm saying? Is it that much different in level of competition or what?
Not a huge difference. And one of the main differences is the physical maturity in a lot of the guys, which is a huge reason why junior college is such a great route for a lot of guys out of high school. Is that at 17, 18 years old, they're just not ready to compete with guys that are 23, 24 years old. It's those years of development and time just spent in the weight room, on the field, get stronger, get faster, getting into their physical maturity really does take them a step ahead. I don't necessarily say that the talent level is that much different. It's I think the speed of it's a little faster when you get into the really high levels of Division I baseball. But if you were to put our guys up against the freshmen and sophomores at any of those schools, I think our guys are right there equal with them, and I think that goes for any junior college in the country. I shouldn't say any, but the ones that we get to see in this area, I think if you did a freshman and sophomore game, I think they're gonna stand up and play with just about any other 4-year schools, freshmen and sophomores, no problem.
Yeah, and I see that, man. Being it's not like every school, every junior college here and there, but I didn't, it took me till last year to really understand, and maybe for my listeners, explain that there is 3 different divisions when it comes to junior college too. There's Division 1, 2, and 3 for junior colleges also, right, Coach?
Yes, there is. And truthfully, when you get through there, some of those differences are more related to the scholarships that can be given and the size of the school than really the talent level at the schools. There's some really good Division 2 and Division 3 junior colleges that play ball, and I think for the most part they're kind of up north and in the Midwest area. Down here, for the most part, we're a majority Division 1 junior colleges, but less so in junior colleges. The number after the letter really dictates the level of play.
And you say more so in college, when it comes to scholarships, that's the difference between the 1, the 2, and the 3. That's what you said?
Yeah, mostly just some of the rules and things that they operate by in terms of scholarships and recruiting and things like that.
Okay, so speaking of scholarships and stuff, like, when you're saying that Division 1, Division 2, Division 3, so Division 1s, they're able to give full rides or large scholarships. That's what I was told, right, when it comes to junior college. Is that true or not?
Yes, it depends on the school and on the state that they're in. Those rules change state to state, school to school. It's a wider spectrum of what schools are able to give versus what it would be at the 4-year NCAA Division 1 level, where it's capped at 11.7, and every school and every state and every conference is going to be on that same scale, except for a few like the Ivy Leagues that don't give scholarships, and obviously your service academies that are giving full scholarships based on service after graduation. But with those few exceptions, everything across the board is Division 1 capped at 11.7, which I'm sure your listeners have heard you talk about before. And then when you go from there, you go to the junior college route, and schools are able to give bigger scholarships, full scholarships, hand out full tuition scholarships. And so that number varies greatly from school to school. I know people that are able to give out 18 to 24 full tuition scholarships, and we give out a different type of scholarship. We are a private junior college, where a lot of other junior colleges are public and state run, so our scholarship setup looks a little bit different. But there are in a lot of. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, keep going, Coach. I'm sorry.
So we're just at some schools, especially a lot of the state-run schools, there's ability to give out full tuition scholarships and in a large number, where you can actually get a lot of value for your money in terms of getting 2 years of education. And I think that's one of the benefits to any junior college as well, is that you're able to not just figure things out from a baseball standpoint, where obviously you've got to develop and grow and become better as a player, but a lot of guys at 17, 18 years old don't know what they want to do with their life, but they go to a 4-year school major, and then all of a sudden they start taking classes towards that major, figure out 2.5 years down the road that, oh shoot, they don't want to be a physical therapist anymore. They want to get into business, and now we've lost 2.5 years of credit for the most part, that we have to go back and recover. Where junior college, you're just knocking out those basic credits. You get 2 more years to figure out what you're doing before you have to make those bigger life decisions.
No, I totally understand that, man. So for Andrew College, man, speaking of tuitions and scholarships, and what are the costs that goes along with going to Andrew College, junior college? Is it in-state? Is the difference in in-state and out-state? If there is, what are the prices?
So because we're private, there's no difference in state and out of state. There are some different grants and things that we're able to do for people in the state of Georgia, and also the state of Florida. Being so close to the state of Florida, we do everything we can to incentivize kids from Florida to come as well. But all in, our cost of tuition is right around $29,000. And that sounds like a big number when you say it out loud. Like, yeah, I see your face there, right? But what you gotta factor in there is, one, with everything that we're able to give from an academic or athletic standpoint, nobody pays that amount. And two, for us, where our pricing is different than a lot of junior colleges where you hear about, $5,000, $6,000 in tuition. Ours also covers room and board for the entire year. So that's, where some places you're going to go and pay $4,000 in tuition, but then you're going to be at the grocery store every week buying dinner, trying to find an apartment, trying to do all that, cook for yourself. Suddenly those grocery bills, those power bills, those cable bills, those utility bills all start to add up. Where, on our campus, that price is, we like to refer to it as a drop-off price, meaning that if you're, sick and tired of your kid, you can drop them off on the corner and in August when the dorms open, and you don't have to worry about him starving again until December when he comes home for Christmas. So, that's three meals a day in the cafeteria, place to live, everything you need in the dorm, includes internet. We have TV. Each dorm comes with a flat screen TV.
Wow.
Kindle Fire Sticks for each dorm. Obviously on campus Wi-Fi. Anything you need to live is available right there. So that's the difference in the pricing, right? I know that it's always funny you say that number out loud and people make that exact same face that you did, and then you start doing math a little bit and you're like, oh, wait a minute. Right. Hold on, because I'm not having to pay rent, I'm not having to pay food, I'm not having to pay utilities. I can cut my air conditioner down to 64 degrees in this dorm and be as cool as I want without having to worry about the electric bill later on.
Okay.
So it's more of an all-in pricing, which is kind of gives some people sticker shock at first when we talk about it, but for the most part, if you do the math, it's not that far off.
Now, speaking of the scholarships and let's talk a little bit about your roster. I mean, like I talked about being right there tucked away. I'm sure most of the kids are from the state of Georgia. And where are you recruiting from?
So most of our guys are from the state of Georgia, and I'd say probably a third of them are from the state of Florida. So being so close to the Panhandle in that area, we're able to get a lot of Florida kids as well. And we do a good job, both our staff and our admissions office and advising do a really good job making sure that we're able to target Florida kids with some out-of-state grants to help Florida guys out. We match the Bright Future Scholarship, so that helps as well to kind of draw some Florida kids up into the area and want to come up here. Ideally, guys, we've got guys on our roster from Fort Myers, guys on our roster from Fort Lauderdale, Jacksonville, all of those areas. So we do draw from that Florida area, specifically the Panhandle, and then we'll obviously a lot of Georgia guys as well. From North Georgia all the way down through South Georgia. We also do a good job, I think, as a staff, targeting guys in South Georgia that are in our backyard and make sure those guys want to stay local and play. And again, an emphasis of our school in general is keeping those South Georgia guys in South Georgia. So we're able to do a little more that way through grants and things as well, depending on what county they're in and things like that.
The type of rosters, numbers wise, I'm sure you, just like every other school, has been affected with the COVID situation, man. But how many kids have you had? Have you had to cut a lot, or are you in a position to be bringing in a few? Like, where's your rosters, sit now?
One of the good things I think about junior college is this, for lack of a better word, craziness in recruiting is that, unlike a lot of four-year schools where when guys start getting years back, which has happened, right? Guys that were seniors got a year back. Guys in Division II have now got 2 years back because they got this year as well. So they can stay, they can get a master's, they can go, get an MBA, get a graduate degree of some kind, and continue playing ball. Where at junior college, it's really not designed for you to be there more than 2 years. So, we do have some guys that are in their third year with us and, taking some extra classes. Our school does have a 4-year business program, so guys are able to to stay for an extra year and do that. But we talk with our guys a lot about it. We've got a lot of guys for next year that could come back for a third year and would greatly benefit our program if they did come back for another year. But the truth is that once you've done 2 years in junior college, for the occasional situation, a third year, there's really not much left for you there in terms of academics and life. So it's time for guys to move on there. So for the most part, our guys have moved on. We did have some third-year guys come back this year, which has really actually been a huge benefit to us on the field. Guys that have been in our system for a while now know what they're doing and are able to take some of the younger guys in and really show them the ropes. And I think that's we talk about it in the office a lot as one of the things that we're off to a really good start right now at 13-2, and I think one of the things that we really attribute that to is the fact that a lot of the guys that are playing for us right now have been with us for 3 years. So
you're saying you're 13-2 right now, Coach?
I'm sorry?
You say you're 13-2 right now? Did I read that right?
Yes, sir. 13-2 and a tie. Uh-huh. We ended up tying the game. We were playing a school that didn't have lights and went into a couple of extra innings and just ran out of daylight. So 13-2-1 right now. But and like I said, I think a lot of that goes to the fact that if you look around our lineup, I think 7 of our guys that were starting for us in our last game have been with us for 2 or 3 years at this point.
Wow.
So having that consistency at the junior college level is very rare. But to answer your question, recruiting at the junior college level is more wide open right now than it is at the 4 years that are very, very stuck, because they have 4 years of guys that are stuck, and those guys can stay and be in their 5th or 6th year getting their master's degree. And I know for a lot of guys it takes 5 years just to get their undergrad right now. So if they were in their 5th year getting their undergrad and then want to go ahead and go for the master's, they can do that and still keep playing, where our guys are out of classes. So they're moving on, and we're having to fill those holes. So we're a lot more wide open on recruiting than we were than a lot of the 4-year schools were. I mean, I know we're looking to bring in, I think, 12 pitchers for next year. So we're going to be graduating. I think 9 of our arms are already committed for next year, and a couple more are going to be committing here soon. So we're looking to add 12 arms, and I mean, we've got some of those filled. But obviously still on the lookout for those guys, and we'll by the time things are all said and done, the process is moving a little slower for position guys right now, even at the junior college level. So any of you high school guys that are listening and worrying about offers and sweating that, it's slow for everybody right now. We've got some really good, really good position players that are still uncommitted too. Where in a normal year they would have committed a while ago. I mean, we've got guys that are top 5 in the country in RBIs right now, and top 5 in the country in stolen bases right now. All still sitting out there uncommitted. So
wow.
The process for position guys is slow for everybody. So for those of you that are listening, that are sweating it right now as uncommitted 2021s, it's just stay patient with it.
That's great advice, Coach. I mean, it's easier said than done, Coach. You know what I'm saying? So when you're saying that it's slow for everybody, can you dig a little deeper in that when you say that? Because, so many 2021s, parents are feeling the pressure now, and players.
Oh, no, there's no doubt that pressure. And I mean, I remember going into my senior year of high school playing, and I didn't sign until, I think, April. So there was, I know that feeling too, where you feel like you're going out there every day and trying to play to impress somebody. And, just with the way everything's going right now, with the log jams in the 4-year rosters, and then Division I guys not being able to get out and go recruit right now, it's just really fogging everything up. And then what ends up happening is these guys that got their years back at other places, now you've got freshmen at 4-year schools that are, oh man, the senior that I was behind is coming back for another year all of a sudden, and I'm not trying to spend 2 years sitting behind this guy, so they're going to go look for another option. So there's just, there's so much movement in it right now that it's honestly unlike anything I've ever seen in it. So it's hard to even describe necessarily, but I think a lot of the guys in the 2021 class are living it. I've been at some showcases and things and talked to some parents watching games, and they've all kind of had the same questions. All right. To be honest, I don't envy the situation that the 2021 class is in, but the right fit is out there. People are recruiting. I mean, we don't just hop in a van and drive 3 hours to Lake Point for fun. We're out here trying to find players, and other people are too. I know, talking to my friends across the game, everybody's still trying to find players, and if there's good players out there, then there's going to be a spot for them. It just may require them to be a little more open-minded in what they're looking for. Maybe have to reach out a little further geographically. Maybe consider a level or a school that they weren't considering a year ago at this time. But there's going to be options out there for everybody.
I love it, man. Great information, Coach. All right. Michael Cummins says, does Coach take an active role in finding D1 opportunities for the graduating players? Any examples?
No, absolutely. That's one of the things that as a staff we really pride ourselves on at Andrew is that, right up there with winning games. We, 1A is winning games, and 1B is making sure our guys have the opportunity to move on to 4-year programs. And that's, I know the question from Michael said Division I opportunities, and but we really pride ourselves on making sure guys have opportunities at all levels, and making sure that guys are aware of, guys, and by guys I mean other coaches at 4-year universities are aware of all our guys, and know what they have, whether that's an NAI school, a Division II school, a Division I school, and we have guys that have committed at all of those levels. This year we have D1 commits, we have D2 commits, we have NAIA commits. We don't have anybody committed to a Division III yet. Thinking off the top of my head, we don't, but those will come as well. So, yeah, that's something we pride ourselves on a lot, and we spend a lot of time on the phone talking to 4-year schools about our guys, while also spending time talking to high school coaches about their guys. So it's that double-sided recruiting that you have to do in junior college, where you've got to make sure you're bringing in the right players to replace the guys that didn't do right by the guys that are with you, to make sure that they get to move on and keep playing. And guys it'll go both ways, right? We've you know the game of baseball. Everybody's got friends all over the place, and they'll see videos, say, hey, what do you got on this guy? Or they'll guys that I talk to pretty frequently, hey, we still need an outfielder, who you got? And we'll give them our best options. Or we're really looking for a catcher in this year's class, and I say, hey, here's the 2 that we've got right now. They're both uncommitted. When I know Coach Williams, our head coach, does a really good job getting our guys' numbers out to 4-year schools. They're not just their contact information, but their stats, and keeping them updated as the year goes on, and making sure everybody knows where everybody's at. Trying to collect as much video as we can on our guys. One of the cool things about our setup is that our school has the Andrew College Digital Network, which is live broadcast of a majority of our home games. So there's always film available on our guys as well, not just for parents that are not able to get there, but also for 4-year schools where making a 4-hour drive on a Tuesday to get down to South Georgia may not be feasible, but they can pop the live stream on or go look at the recording later, watch all of the guys at bats, watch a guy throw, things like that. Guys have good outings and things like that. But, hey, man, you need to go back and rewatch this guy's video from Tuesday. He was pretty good, and so guys will hop on that and watch that live stream, and then want to talk to us about our guys as well. So all of those, it's definitely a huge part of the process. Making sure that our guys that are with us, we're we're doing right by them to make sure that they get the opportunity to move on.
All right. I got my boy Charles Thompson out there in Australia. He said, I got dudes out here in Australia. I don't know how your international game is, but he said, what does your depth chart look like? And how many guys do you carry on a roster? And he said, I've got arms. I got an arm. He just made the national team for Australia. Throws 87, 4-pitch guy with movement, 2022 guy.
Okay, that was a lot of parts to that question. So we'll start with the depth part.
Yeah.
You know, we carry between 30 and 35 guys on a given year. We have some guys also redshirted for us, which, you know, guys that just for whatever reason weren't quite ready to compete, weren't quite had something they needed to work on, needed to get bigger, needed to get faster, needed to get a little bit stronger. You know, needed to clean something up defensively. Arm strength wasn't there, command wasn't there, whatever it may be. You know, those guys. Yeah, so we've got some guys there. So all in, including those guys, we've got about 40 guys in our program. I think we're rolling with 32 guys live right now, and then 4 guys redshirted. So it's quick math. So about 36 guys right now.
All right.
And then I know the question there was international as well, and you know, we've talked to some international guys. Obviously, you know, we're open to anywhere we can find good players. I will just go ahead and say that with our tuition set up and, you know, things like that, guys really do benefit from being able to take advantage of some of the grants and things that the United States federal government has to offer. So, you know, if we've got international guys, they're going to end up paying more money. It's usually the hang up that we run into with international guys. We're all in on trying to get them. You know, I was fortunate enough to go down to Fort Myers this year and get to recruit that big tournament that's usually in Jupiter. They played it in Fort Myers this year. We you know, got to see the Ontario Blue Jays play with Mike Steed and those guys. They run a great program up there. You know, it seems like every year they have 2 or 3 guys that we really like and think would be a really good fit for us. And, you know, it just ends up being one of those things where international guys are just tough for us in our setup. I mean, like I said, we're not opposed to international guys at all. It's just a matter of, you know, trying to make it work, to make the opportunity work for both parties.
So if they're willing to pay more and come to the school, then you're all with it then, basically.
I mean, basically that's what it boils down to, unfortunately, and not for the fact that we want them to, but just because of the way our tuition and aid lines up. It's just the way it is for us.
All right. Well, we heard that, CT. Larry says, hope this question is being asked correctly. Are you able to clarify JUCO being eligible for draft versus D1 going for 3 to 4 years before being draft eligible?
Yeah, we can take a stab. We can run down the draft eligibility rules real quick for guys. Obviously, knowing that you know, one of the benefits to junior college, especially for the really high end guys in junior college, is that it gives them a couple extra years to draft eligibility. So obviously, you know, your first shot at being draft eligible would be coming out of high school. Every high school prospect is draft eligible after their senior year, and then if you commit to a 4-year school, you are not eligible for the draft again until after your 3rd year there or until you turn 21. Now, the difference then in junior college is that after each year of junior college, you're eligible for the draft again. So, you know, if you're just take a high school senior, class of 2021, you'll be draft eligible this year. If you choose to go to a 4-year school, you're going to give up 2 years of draft eligibility, and then you'll be eligible again 3 years from now. And then after that 3rd year, and then again after that 4th year. Now, if that same player chooses to go through the JUCO process, they'll be draft eligible after their 2021 high school season, draft eligible after their freshman year of junior college, draft eligible after their sophomore year of junior college, back through, they'll obviously, if they don't end up getting drafted at one of those points or it doesn't end up working out for whatever reason, then they'll move on to a 4-year school. And then they'll be draft eligible again after their 3rd year at the 4-year school, and then draft eligible again after the 4th year.
Coach, your mute button is on. Your mute button is on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear you.
Oh, there we are. I got you.
There you go. There you go. Okay. Yeah, I got you now.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah,
trying to get you. You jumped out of my headset for some reason. I'm trying to get you back in my AirPods.
Nah, that was good, man, and I'm glad you explained it the way you did. So essentially, I always thought the JUCO route you can get drafted, and for JUCO, but most people know it but don't know it, but one of the junior college coaches came on and he put it just the way you put it, and I didn't think about it like that because I was just thinking, oh, JUCO, and if you don't work out going to the pro out of JUCO, you just go to a 4-year school. But he just put it plainly, just like you did. Like if you go to JUCO route, you're giving yourself eligibility to get drafted every year. You know what I'm saying? Every year you're in college, you're giving yourself an opportunity to get drafted. The 2 years at JUCO and the two years in the 4-year school, you're giving yourself a chance to get drafted. So when he said it like that, and I was like, yeah, you're giving yourself 4 straight years of getting drafted, becoming, getting drafted 4 straight years if you do the JUCO route, which is awesome. That's basically what you just explained.
Yeah, you just more options for you, for guys to further their career. So.
Yep. The I wanted to I know you about to go recruit and do your thing, man. I wanted to again thank you for coming up to my showcase. You made the way up, you made the trip up from South Georgia to Atlanta on Sunday for my showcase. Talk about the players as far as like, and I'm gonna get you out of here from that, but not just the player talent wise, but when you're going to a showcase, can you just name a couple of things that you're looking for when you're at a showcase when it comes to players? It could be, just tell me, like, when you have, you driving up or you're flying into the town to watch a showcase, the showcase that I provide, like, not necessarily like where you're about to go see a game. I'm talking about a showcase where seeing guys run, throw, hit, and probably play some simulated game. What's your mindset going into that, Coach? What are you looking for in a player?
The biggest thing that you're gonna look for, and I don't think I'm any different than most people that go to those events, is you're looking for guys with tools that play at the next level. Run, hit, throw, field. Like what does a guy do well? And you wanna see guys showcase that part of their game. And I think I can go on a little bit of a tangent here when we talk about guys at showcases and things like that, but I think a lot of young guys get hung up on trying to be something that they're not at these type of events, where if you can run, man, be a guy that runs. Run your 60. Put your best 60 down, and then any other time you get a chance to run. If you get to run. If you're a hitter, man, if you're a guy who hits bombs in BP, great, hit bombs in BP, right? But there's a lot of guys that run, and then their game is more barrels and doubles and things like that. And I know you talked to some of the guys about it on Sunday when we were up there. They're guys that are going to be line drive gap guys, and that definitely plays. And guys love to see that. But I mean, I love to see that guys that take BP, and the ball doesn't have to leave the yard for it to be an impressive BP. You can hit a really loud round of BP with a lot of balls that don't go out. And I mean, I know there were a couple guys there that did, and I've actually talked to a couple of them since then. So, hit some really good rounds of BP without really showing a ton of, massive home run power. But guys that have that type of game, then they'll go to these showcases, right, and try to do things that that's not their style, it's not their game, and all of a sudden you got guys that are doubles guys trying to go up top over, the light towers, and all they're doing is hitting balls, and you're like, man, this kid can't find a barrel to save his life. And if he can't find a barrel in BP, how's he going to find it in a game for us? But truth is, he can probably find barrels, but he's trying to hit a ball 900 feet. And don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with hitting balls 900 feet if that's part of your game. We love to hit bombs. That's we got guys on our roster that are really good at it, and that's that's what we tell them to do, is get out there and hit bombs. But that's at the same time not something that I hate to get super prototypical with it, but if you're 5'8", 165 pounds, that's probably not your style, right? So be the guy at these showcases that you're going to be when you're actually playing the game. And when you try to come out of that at these showcases, to show something that you're not, or pretend to be something that you're not, it's guys can see it. And, anybody that's watched even a little bit of baseball, we can tell. We can tell, well, man, that's not going to work. And so it's hard to do that. And that's the biggest evaluation in the showcase side, is just checking on the tool set, and then you look at some outside factors, right? Does he move right? Does his feet work? Does his arm work? How does he move field and ground balls? How does he move in the outfield? Little stuff. There's I know this probably goes against what a lot of people say, but I'm not the biggest guy in the world where I'm harping on the little things, and I obviously want to make sure guys have their uniform on right, they're respectful, and do things that way. But I know some people get on and say, well, if they show up to the field in flip flops, I'm going to immediately cross them off the list. Rock what you want when you get up the field, right? But you can come up in Jordans for all I care. But when the time comes, put your cleats on, strap them up, put your hat on the right way, and do everything like you've got a purpose to what you're doing. And that means hustling around, moving around, not walking. And I remember there at the end, we had that little talk at the end, and you talked about it with a couple of guys. I just want to go back and rehammer on it again, but body language is huge in those things too. I mean, again, where I say we're not necessarily, that's just me from a recruiting standpoint, right? Where I'm not necessarily going to cross somebody off the list because they came to the field in flip flops with their hat turned backwards. I like to wear my hat turned backwards too. I mean, it's comfortable. But when you go between the lines, you got to do it the right way, no doubt. But what we will cross a guy off the list for real quick is bad body language and not moving around with purpose. And I think that's, if you talk to some of our guys, that's some stuff we harp on a lot, almost every day in practice, is whatever you're doing, do it with a purpose. If you're going somewhere, get there. And guys that move around like that have that air of professionalism about them when they're between the lines, is kind of one of the things that, I know it's a big phrase, but can get you crossed off a list, is if you boot a ground ball during the pro style workout, whatever, pick your head up, go back, get the next one. That's fine, right? Yeah, it happens. Everybody boots ground balls, right? Nobody's perfect.
Exactly.
But you boot the first one, put your head down, slow walk back to the cones, and then kind of sulk around, and it's like, I'm not trying to deal with that. If that's how he's going to be when he knows he's being evaluated, how's he going to be in his middle of the fall when he's on the roster and he starts kicking ground balls around? Because everybody's going to kick ground balls around at some point, and You know, how's he going to be in that case? And is that something we want to deal with? So, you know, that's kind of one of the big things. And then you look at tools, and then those factors on how they act and how they go about their business is something that, you know, you can see really well in those showcase type events. And, you know, then obviously going from there, you want to see them play in a game if you can, just to make sure that everything translates. I know it's something that gets asked a lot when I'll go out and watch a guy and just start talking about tools and things like that. Or, you know, I know I have a really good friend who'll text me about, he's at a 4-year school, and he'll text me about recruits every once in a while. And I'll say, hey man, yeah, he runs a 6'7", you know, this and that. Good juice from the left side, you know, hits it 100 off the tee, whatever, right? Our Rapsodo had him up to 96 the other day, whatever, and he'll just text back CHP. And, you know, can he play?
Right.
So you gotta, you know, that's the next side there, is you gotta make sure that all those measurables translate into a game situation. So, you know, that's the hard part about recruiting showcases on our end, is, you know, it's great for guys to show their tools. I think they're a super valuable resource to be able to see a lot of players at the same time. You know, the hard part is being able to evaluate how those tools move over into a game situation and how it's going to be long term. So,
I mean, I think that's good information, man, you just gave, man, because just main thing is, like, play within yourself. Like, don't try to do more than what you're capable of doing. And I definitely appreciate you coming up on Sunday. It was appreciated. I know
I appreciate you reaching out and inviting me. It was a good event, and you had some good players there. Some really good players there. There's a lot of good young guys there too. You know, where I was watching a lot of those younger guys go, man, it's, you know, I know we recruit on kind of a year-to-year basis in junior college, and we're not in a position where we can really start worrying about 23s and 24s. But man, if I needed to worry about 23s and 24s, this is a good spot to be in, to start getting some names written down, no doubt. So, you know, some good players there. It was good to see them do their thing there on Sunday.
Good deal, Coach, man. I got a couple more questions that come in, and we'll get you out of here, man. I know you're about to recruit.
Absolutely.
All right. Coach, what can young players do to convey to you that they're a great teammate? With COVID, we're relying on videos more than ever, but you can't see if a kid is a great teammate from a skills video. So how do we communicate that?
Well, I mean, you know, this might sound kind of simple when I say it, but actually be a good teammate. You know, that's the biggest way to communicate that you are a good teammate, is to be a good teammate.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's something that you are or you aren't, and, you know, if you're trying to show it through a skills video, that's probably not the way to go about it. I agree. It's very, you know, it's, we can maybe keep the skills video rolling and see you give a guy a cup of water or something like that when he comes off the field. But, you know, for the most part, it's actually be a good teammate, because I guarantee you there's not a guy in the country that's recruiting in a similar position I am that's going to see a skills video and make an offer or sign a player without talking to his high school coach, talking to his travel coach, talking to guys that he has played for. And that's where those factors come up, right? Where we're going to ask, is he a good teammate? You know, what's he like in the classroom? What's he like at practice? What's he like in the weight room? Does he work? Is he a problem? Am I going to want to kill him by week 3? Like, you know, where, you know, that's where we actually just talked to a local high school coach here in Georgia on the way up. He had a couple uncommitted guys that somebody sent me some video on, and, you know, one of the questions, one of the things we talked about was how are they grades wise? Where are they at in the classroom? How do they handle the weight room? Because those are big parts of our program, and guys that don't like the weight room and don't like the classroom have a hard time in our program. And, you know, and then obviously you want to know how they are as a teammate, and that's something that, you know, we'll talk about with your coaches for sure. So, you know, that's, I don't want that to come off as sarcastic or, you know, like,
you good?
Like I'm trying to make a joke of it, but the best way for you to show that you're a good teammate is keep being a good teammate. And the more you can be a good teammate, the more that's going to get noticed by people and your coaching staff. And then when people do call about you because they like what they saw in the skills video, then we're going to find out, hey, how is he as a teammate? Oh, he's awesome. He's the first guy here. He's always happy to help me out with stuff on the field, right? He picks his guys up. He's a leader for us. We don't ever have to worry about him. He makes sure guys know what's going on. Those are all things that you can do. And I would encourage, and obviously all I've got here is Facebook users, so there's not a name on it, which no worries. I would encourage the person who asked this question, anybody else who is listening, don't be a good teammate just to try to impress somebody to move on to the next level. Be a good teammate because it's the right thing to do. It's how you go further in this game is being a good teammate and being a good person and a good player on and off the field. And it's not just something you want to do because you think it's going to impress the college that you're sending your skills video to, or the pro scout that maybe they're watching you, or whoever it is. But it's something that you should do because that's who you are as a person, and that's how you act. Because I think in the long run, if you fake being a good teammate to try to impress some people, eventually that wears off, and then everybody's going to notice. Where if you really are just a good teammate, and for some people, honestly, that may take practice, right? It may be something where they're going to be like, oh man, I should go pick up that bat now, and it may be something where it takes a minute or two, right, to learn how to be a good teammate. But when you can get there, then that carries over long term, not just to impress a recruiter or try to get a scholarship, but to actually make you a better baseball player, a better teammate.
Facts, Coach. Listen, I have all my guests, man. They always end with a great message, man. So I want you to think about that message as I say my little 2 cents as we head out, man. So parents listening in, I will be back most likely on Monday at 4 p.m. I will have Sean McLaughlin coming in on Tuesday. We're going to talk about the whole analytics side. He was there this past Sunday with Coach Henly and myself, along with some others.
Big Mac.
Yeah, Big Mac. Yeah, we talk about that. Again, and I just saw as we're speaking, a couple of more parents sign up for the Southern Cal Showcase in California, March 20th. Coach, I got to add you to the live stream on that, man. I know you may not have no kids, man, but I got to add you to the list, man, so we can get you some information on these kids that be coming in from around the country, man. So March 20th, sign up for that showcase out there. All right. I appreciate you guys signing up, the parents that I have been. So I want you guys to have a great weekend, and I have some more guests coming on next week. So, Coach Henly, if you could, brother, you gave us nuggets the whole time, man. But if you could take us out with one last message, man, as we end this interview today, man.
I'll try to keep it somewhat brief. Guys, give me an open floor like this. I've been accused of getting a little preachy at times, but I think the biggest thing for these guys that are listening, guys that are going through the process, whether they're 20, 2024, 2021, or even I don't know how many middle school guys you've got, but the biggest thing is just keep working through the whole thing. And I tell guys all the time when I get the chance to speak to groups that are diverse in age, is make sure you take care of the stuff now as a young guy that won't come back and bite you later on down the road in the recruiting process. We talked about the draft and keeping options open, and how junior college keeps options open for you. Taking care of your stuff in the classroom as a freshman and sophomore, going into your junior year really does keep those options open for you. Where if you think about, college baseball is a big pool, the higher your GPA, the higher your test scores, the higher your, peripherals like that, aside from the skill set, just keep more options open for you to be able to keep your career going. And so somewhere in there, your academics and your talent level are going to meet, and that's the school where you're going to end up at. But you'd hate to miss out on the school where you're going to end up at because your talent level meets that, but your academics don't. and I know this is a big broad example, but there's Ivy League at the top, and on down to I know we just said junior college isn't the spot to go if you got bad grades, and it's not just full of guys that can't hack in a classroom, but there are some benefits there for guys that do struggle in the classroom, right? But if you have a bad GPA, there's a lot of places that you're not going to be able to go. You've taken a lot of schools out of the pond that you can fish from. So, we always tell guys to make sure that even though the recruiting process may not have felt like it started for you yet in terms of talking, you may not have schools calling you yet, right? But if you want to play college baseball and you've made it into high school, your recruiting process has started. And that's not me saying you need to go to a showcase every weekend. That's not me saying you need to go to a camp every weekend. That's not me saying you need to start playing travel ball January 1st and not take a break until you get to Christmas Eve and then pick right back up again, right? No, that's not what I'm trying to get at here. What I'm trying to say is that as you go through it, everything gets evaluated, even if it's not getting evaluated at the time. So, down the road, if you're a 2024 right now and, college is a long way off and I'm not really worried about that. I'm not talking to any schools right now. My grades really don't matter or whatever. Well, 2-3 years from now, when, myself, somebody else in the situation calls you and says, hey, we'd love for you to come to Andrew College. Here's the price of admission, whatever. And, you tell me, Coach, I'd love to come, but it's just too expensive. So, okay, well, what's your GPA? Do you qualify for the Hope Scholarship? No, Coach, I kind of messed around a little bit my freshman year, and I got like a 2.7 now. Well, you just left $5,000 on the table at our place, right? So, that's one of the big things I always want to make sure guys take away, and is that even if you aren't talking to schools, even if you aren't discussing scholarships, or don't have coaches calling, you don't have coaches texting, you don't have anybody like that, the process has started, and just make sure that the work you put in now is the work that'll take you where you want to go in the future, right? It's studying for a test, basically, right? I know we talked about the academic side, but in larger scale, right, it's a test, and everything you're doing is studying for that test, and then you've got to go out and execute it later. But just don't, make sure on the baseball side, one, and then on the academic side too, that we keep working hard and keep doing everything we can, because everybody's got these goals to play college baseball, and I think that's great. I think I was in the same boat as a high school guy. Fortunately, I grew up in a family of teachers, and my grandfather was a professor, so schoolwork was not a question. It was just something that got done, and fortunately, that left me in a situation where I was able to get more money where I went, and I've become very good friends with the head coach that I played for at Georgia College over the years. And, he still won't admit it, but I think there's times where they took me over another guy because they didn't have to give me as much scholarship money because I qualified for some state stuff based on my GPA and things. So they didn't have to give me nearly as much money to get me as they did the next guy. And so that's always a factor in it too. Is make yourself as valuable as possible. Where if I can get you for free because you've got Hope Scholarship, and I've got to give another guy a $10,000 scholarship, and you're both the same player, I'm going to take the guy that I get for free every time. So, I know I've gone off on a train there a little bit, but
that's a great message, man. Coach, listen. I don't want to cut you off, but I know that Jacob is asking for your contact, and I usually do that, man. But before we head off, man, how can somebody send film to you or get in touch and learn more about Andrew College if they're interested?
So the best way is probably through my email, which if you hop on the Andrew College website, I'm going to trick you guys a little bit. I go by Billy. My name's actually William. So officially in the IT department, my email address is williamhenly@andrewcollege.edu. If you look at the Andrew College, if you just Google Andrew College Baseball, our page will pop right up. It'll be right there for you. You can go to the coaches tab, click on it. I'm, second one down under the boss. Boss man gets the top billing, obviously, but right down there's a link. You can click on our email. You can send us an email, send us film. I try to do my best to respond to everybody. Sometimes it takes a couple of days here and there, but we do our best to get back to everybody that sends in film, especially in the 21 class. I'm going to be honest with you. If you're 2024 or 2025 sending film to a junior college, I don't know if I'd expect to get a response right away. But it is something that we try to get back to almost everybody. Yep, that's it. Just
I spelled it wrong. I missed the M.
Gotta throw that M in there on William, but yeah, that's it. And then also you can check us out on Twitter. We're Andrew College Baseball. So I think that's
Here
our
it
Twitter
is.
handle.
Here it is. Here, I got you, Coach. My bad. I was trying to type it in fast, but I think I spelled this wrong. No, here we go.
No, I got you.
All right. So this is it, Coach. Man,
there it is. Yep, he's got it.
All right, cool. All right, so parents listening, still on with us. This is it. All right, this is his email. If you have, preferably a 2021, 2022, send them. All right, some videos of that somebody that you think that will be interested in Andrew College, man. Coach Henly, man, I appreciate you coming on, man. I know you are about to go watch some ball tonight, man. So stay dry. I'm hoping that you don't get rained on too much over there. But
this turf is great, but they don't like to cancel games up here. So we'll keep rolling until it rains too hard for me to want to stay out in it anymore. But we're looking forward to seeing. I got 8 fields going up here tonight. So we're going to see a lot of good ball tonight. So
good
looking forward to that, man. And looking forward to get out and seeing some more guys play. I love watching guys play. So
that's what's up, man.
We'll get in there. I appreciate you having me on. I appreciate you. Yes, sir. I appreciate you having me out on Sunday as well. It was a really good event with some really good players in it. If we got any other college coaches listening, you need to check out that live stream from there, especially if you're looking for some younger guys, some good players.
You heard it from Coach over there, man. So listen, I appreciate you, my brother. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for the plug, man. I will be on Monday, man. Coach Henly, man, we'll be in contact. You already know, man. I know you know a couple of my guys from the showcase, man. You liked, and hopefully things work out with some of those guys, man. And I'll be in contact with you. I'm gonna run into some players, man. So I'll be in contact with you, brother.
Awesome, you the man, D. Thank you.
All right, Coach. You guys take care. 4 p.m. on Monday. I'll see you guys.
We'll talk to you soon.
All right. Have a great weekend, parents. I'll see you guys on Monday.